All right, with the Bears season kicking off, there's no one better to join us than number 54, Brian Urlacher. Jumping on with us at CHGO Bears again. What's up, Brian?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're ready to finally have some football here.
Football that matters. Yes, I'm excited as well.
Look at how good 54 looks. Just like I feel like you're like fresh off a bike ride, just having a great afternoon over there. Am I feeling this correctly?
I am not fresh off a bike ride, but I rode this morning. Got me some Chick-fil-A for lunch. Good to go now.
That's awesome. Hey, I want to start you with this. And by the way, Brian's joining us on behalf of Restore. Of course, I think most people in Chicago at this point see the billboards.
The billboards are everywhere. You can't leave O'Hare any direction without seeing those billboards. Restore Hair is doing a good job.
I'm praying to God that I never have to go to restorehair.com. But yes, I've seen every single billboard, and I've also been amazed that you made this transformation, and you just pulled it off. Let's just call it what it is. You look good.
Appreciate it. Neither one of you guys will ever have to worry about going to Restore. I don't believe. Look at you.
I hope not.
I'm okay. It's going. It's big. It's nice. It's big. Markers is pretty thick as well. You guys
Thank
are
you.
lucky.
Thank you.
Follicles.
Well, let's start here. So, if you look at this Bears team, who's the person you'd like to see with like a fresh head of hair that needs some Restore action going on here?
You know, I don't see a lot of them with their helmets on, so I couldn't tell you. You know, last year would be easy. It would have been Coach Nagy. That would have been easy for them. This year I don't know. Roquan's got a nice head of hair going. I saw him on TV this morning. I don't know, honestly. There's not many ball guys. They're all so young.
It's true.
And the coaches I don't know as well. So, I mean, they all still got their hair going. They weren't like me and went bald at like 22.
Yeah, that is one upgrade I saw with the coaching staff already. There were like 5 guys on the coaching staff last year that were bald, and everybody's got some hair now.
Luce has good hair.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job. Yeah, they got the hair game strong on that team.
Hey, can we just start with Flus for a second here, Brian? Like, let's just go back and say that when Dick Duran left, and here comes a guy in, and I know you fell in love with Lovie, and we'll talk about that forever, but here he comes in. Hey, I got this thing. It's called the HITS principle. I want you guys to hustle, and I want you guys to have intensity, and I want you guys to take the football away. Would you have been looking at him cross-eyed, bringing that into the room?
No, heck no. I mean, not now. I wouldn't have to play for Lovie for 9 years. I think running to the football is kind of a lost start, and I think I know he's from the lineage of Coach Marinelli, and I love playing for that guy. When he was our DC, we ran to the football, we took the ball away. Back then you could still hit people. So we were good tacklers. The physical football was still okay back then. But yeah, I like his philosophy of getting to the football, taking it away. I know the more guys you have with the football, the better it is for your team.
So you go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my friend Adam Johns. He had this great story on The Athletic with Ryan Poles, who was in a training camp with you guys way back in 2008. And he said, like, part of the reason why he targeted Matt Eberflus as a coach was because of that training camp experience, which was his entire NFL career. That training camp with you guys, Brian, Lance, everything he saw about the way you guys practice and how hard you practice stuck with him. Do you think that all these years he spent in Kansas City, you think it's almost surprising that he's going to go this route with the Bears, but he seems to think it's going to pay off practicing this way?
Well, it's happened for me. I'll tell you that much. And if you didn't practice like that for Lovie or Coach Babbage or Coach Brent, you didn't play. I mean, it's just kind of a culture thing, and it didn't matter what your level was, whether you're Pro Bowler, rookie, whatever. You're going to practice hard no matter what, because they pretty much treated us all the same in practice. There was no favors, nothing like that. But we all ran the football, and that's just the way it was going to be.
See, I throw my skeptical hat and be like, look, you either have talent and you can take the ball away from someone, or you don't. You can't like this is football. We've been trying to do this since you first started playing, but we're getting all this. They're going to be able to be coached into it, and I'm just kind of wondering if is actually possible.
I'll say this: the more hats you get around the football, if the ball does come loose, if there's a ball tip, you have a better chance of getting those footballs. I will say that. So the odds are in your favor if you get more guys around the football, and that's what we started doing early on when Lovie got there. We just got guys to the football, and then the ball started coming out. We started getting those bounces. We started scoring on defense. So I do think it's happened for me. I do think the more guys you get around the football, the better bounces you get.
And that's why Brian Urlacher has so many footballs behind him right now. on this shelf. You got any story? I'm trying to read them behind you. You got any stories behind these balls behind you?
Well, they're all game balls.
Yeah.
I actually did some good things in a few games, and I get a game ball for it, or picks, stuff like good stuff. Nothing. You got ran over by Jerome Bettis. You got stiff arm by Brandon Jacobs. There's none of those footballs back there. Those didn't make the cut. Those got thrown away.
I'm wondering if there's a favorite in there, but we could just sort of we could yeah. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Give me a favorite.
85-yard touchdown, pick six versus Green Bay in 2000. I want to say 2007 at Soldier Field off of Brett Favre. Yeah. I don't know where it's at up here, but it's definitely in here. That's my favorite. Brett Favre, man, he's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a highlight of ours too. I think just thinking about it.
It's a tough season for us though.
Let me ask you about a player on the Bears right now who has probably got his fair share of game balls, probably was hoping to get more with the Bears, but has been in this contract situation with training camp. He missed training camp. You and Lance, out of anybody, would know the value of the position Roquan Smith is playing in this defensive scheme. First of all, do you think what was your opinion on how that whole thing played out during camp, and how do you think it should be handled? The importance of Roquan Smith in this defense.
I mean, business decisions are hard to make, and the hard thing I think for him was he was negotiating his own deal, so it was very personal. I would think in that aspect, when you're getting there, you're hearing the offers, you're getting all the banter going back and forth. It gets real personal because I was on the other side of that a little bit when they tried to get my extension done in 2008 or 2009. And it gets personal. You take that to heart because you know your value. You think you know your value. He's a good player. I haven't watched him play a ton because we don't get their game slot down here. That dude can play some football. I wish they'd pay him. I don't know what he's asking or what they've offered, but I would say he's the best player on the Bears. There's no doubt. Offense, defense, he's the best player on their team. There's no doubt about that. And you drafted him in the first round. You hit on a pick. Pay him. It's hard to hit on first round picks these days, or any day actually. So he's performed. Pay him. I hope he's there for a long time. And I think they put him at the wheel, correct? They moved him to the wheel this year. That's a great spot for him. He's not a huge guy. He's 230, 235. And he runs he's such a good athlete. He runs well. He's going to be a very successful will linebacker in that defense.
I mean, everyone's different, Brian, but could you you have this, you're representing yourself. You have this negotiation. They won't pay you. Now it's your last year. In the back of your mind, they can even tag you, which is quite a bit of money, but that's all out there. Do you think that he can the normal person could just put that aside? No problem. I'm thrilled to be here. Let's go have a sweet season. I mean, that seems like a challenge again.
Yeah, but you're also betting on yourself. You turned down their offer, whether it was fair or not, you turned it down. So now you're betting on yourself to go out there and probably maybe even escalate that contract to an even higher level, whether it's with the Bears or somebody else. I understand they can tag him, which is probably what's going to happen if they don't get it done, or they shouldn't let him go. I know that much. But yeah, I mean, you're betting on yourself, which is, as a player, I always felt better betting on myself than, taking a deal that I wasn't comfortable with.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, something happened today in that locker room. I just got back coming from House Hall that brought me back some memories. I haven't heard it in a while. But Robert Quinn, with the locker room open, all of a sudden started blasting music from his locker. And it's been a while since I heard that. I'm thinking back to Lance Briggs.
What?
Yeah.
There's no music in the locker room?
Not at least when the media's in there. I'm thinking back to thinking back to when you guys would be in there. We would come in and Lance would just start blasting music.
Yeah, well, it's disrespectful to the media to do that, right?
Well,
you definitely don't want to do that to the media and piss them off and you get them. That's the last thing you want to do. Good for them. Good for Robert. You got to keep it loose. I think we had a good rapport with the media back in the day too. They understood that there might have been some stuff going on that we didn't want to talk about. So Lance would put his music up really loud. So maybe the questions would get less and less.
Yeah, well, and to be honest, I was actually going in the positive world with that. It was just, it came on. I'm going, man, this is bringing back some vibes from back in the day, which is kind of what I think this new coaching staff is going for. So I don't know that translates to wins or losses or anything like that. It's just, it's contributing to this vibe I have been feeling since training camp started.
Yeah, I feel like everything I've heard coming out of Bears camp has been good. Positive about Coach Eberflus, the staff, the players as well. I know they've had some contract stuff going on. I think Quinn had some issues as well earlier. and now the Roquan thing. But those don't matter right now because they're both playing on Sunday. Everything at this point is resolved. They're under contract for this year, and they're all going to play.
So let's just go a little more. Let's rewind and go global here. If 54 could pick it, rewinding back, coming in the league, do you play for the Chicago Bears, considering everything that happened? You do.
Hell yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's say, do you get to play for the number one middle linebacker position of all time in that franchise? Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, Bill George. I mean, yeah, I'd love to play there. Yeah, I don't think it could have worked out any better. If you're a defensive player coming to the NFL, you want to play for the Bears. The history of defense in that city and the fans get behind you. I would definitely not, especially knowing what I know now, would not choose to go anywhere else.
Okay, that's an easy segue here, Adam. So let me just throw this in here. I'm like the only guy in Chicago media right now, Brian, that is like out here screaming, "Leave him at Soldier Field. Let him put a dome on it." I don't care how. I understand the logistics and the likelihood is not right, but like that's where the Bears belong at the lakefront. Like, does this? I understand. I get, like, everybody gets puts the reality. Oh, it's much better to own your own stadium out in the suburbs, and I get that. But like, do they not belong? Does it not feel more right over there?
I've got into it with some people over this. I don't know how you can put a dome on the Chicago Bears stadium. That's like one of the few things we have in our favor is that stadium being outside in the elements, and get the teams from down south come through. They don't like the weather. The teams from the West Coast, they damn sure don't like it. Any team coming in there that knows it's going to be freezing is not going to like it. So you have to keep that in your advantage. I understand they won a Super Bowl there, but who the hell wants to go to Chicago in February anyway? It's negative 10 degrees. I love Chicago. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be there in February. And you think that people are going to go watch the Super Bowl in February? When they had it in Minnesota in 2018.
Yeah, that's when you went in the Hall of Fame. You were there.
They have all the underground little places you can walk and stay inside. You don't go outside.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was freezing. It was brutal. Like, I mean, we got dropped off at that mall, and we were at the wrong door. Couldn't get in. It was terrible.
So I didn't enjoy the weather. Personally, I live in Arizona now, so I don't have to deal with it. But yeah. I mean, to put a dome on a stadium just so you can get a Super Bowl, I mean, it goes against everything that I believe in as a Chicago Bears player. I love being outside. I love the elements. And I think our fans love it too. I'd like to don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure that they enjoy cheering for us in the elements.
Okay, and I kind of get that, but I want to ask you then, like, from a football perspective, the game keeps changing. Players are getting faster and faster and faster and more athletic, and I think that there's this desire to not have the field hold back the Bears either. Like, I know Matt Eberflus wants to play fast. So in what ways, when you were playing, this is a serious question, in what ways did, whether it's the field or the weather, the cold, whatever it was, the wind, how did that help you win football games? How did that truly give you a home field advantage?
Well, the elements are the same for both teams. The field's the same for the both teams. There's no, advantage when it comes to that. It's just a mindset. I think that's that mindset of it's going to be cold, deal with it. We practice in it. We play in it. That's just the way it's going to be. And teams don't really get a chance to practice in that type of weather. It sucks. When you're practicing it all week and you're out there getting ready for it, you live in it. I think that gives you an edge. And also kicking game with the wind, Robbie was the best. And you look at his percentage of Soldier Field, I'm not sure you'll find much better for the time he was there. But yeah, I think it's just a mindset thing. It's going to be cold. So what? We got to go out there and play a football game.
The media also makes a huge deal about the grass. The grass is terrible. Yeah, right. So, I mean, would you be going to the locker room and talking to your guys like, "Hey, Briggs, this sucks. This is brutal. I can't move around," or was that a non-factor?
I didn't think about that. I'm not a receiver. I'm not cutting. I'm not a DB. I'm not breaking on a ball, something like that. So it didn't bother me. And like I said earlier, it's the same for both teams. You both got to deal with it. I understand the turf is not great. It's always been that way, but that's just the way it is. You play outside in the winter at Soldier Field. I heard it was bad in one of the preseason games too, allegedly.
It was really bad.
That's what I don't understand. How do you get it bad in the preseason? There should be no reason for it, unless you're having concerts or other games there. I get it, but it should be pretty sweet in the preseason.
Well, and I think that's part of the equation. The Bears want to be back in control. I shouldn't say back. They've never been in control of their own field, really. No. And I think that's what they want so that they can control that stuff. We don't need to have a Rammstein concert a week before they open. Yeah. That's the stuff.
I don't blame them. I can't blame them. Plus, the money with owning your own stadium might be a little bit alluring as well. To actually get the money for parking, to get some of the outside stuff that goes on there instead of it going to the city. Plus, might be a safety issue as well with it being downtown these days. I don't know. Arlington Heights might be a little safer these days.
Yeah, but it's such a crazy world. I mean, we just had a thing in Highland Park, which nobody would have imagined. So you can never predict these things. What as far as the team itself, Brian, Justin Fields, you expected a major step year two. A lot of the pundits out there, worst team in the NFL, Chicago Bears. I mean, that's not a minority opinion out there. That's about half of the people that watch football.
I was at an event in Vegas like 2 weeks ago, and everyone bet under 6.5 on the Bears. I'm like, okay, what's the choice over and under? I think it was better than the Bears. I don't think they're going to be that bad. I hope I'm wrong, but it's hard. I feel bad for Justin Fields because of the fact he had to learn 2 different schemes in 2 years. You're a rookie. It's hard enough to learn as a rookie. And your second year should be getting a little bit more comfortable, and then they put a new scheme in for him. That's just the way it goes. That's coaching in the NFL. But the kid's good. He's talented. Obviously, throws are great, athletic. I worry about up front. Protecting him is going to be a big deal. And running the football always solves a lot of those problems, in my opinion. When you can run the football, I don't care if it's college, NFL, it takes a lot of the pressure off the quarterback on your offensive line.
Well, okay, another football question for you here, because one of the things they've been working with Fields and this new offense a lot is something we see all the time with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Green Bay, which is varying cadences and trying to keep the defense varying that pass rush. As somebody who's on the defensive side of the ball, how can that help the Bears maybe compared to when you watched them last year and it just seemed like teams were teeing off on the quarterback constantly?
I know it's hard when you're on the road because the crowd's so loud. You got to go on the silent count. That's the way it's going to be. At home, you should be able to change it up a little bit. Aaron Rodgers is different. I wouldn't compare anyone to him when it comes to getting the team in the right play before snap. He's a different guy. He's going to get them in the best play possible for them to succeed, and that's the way it's going to be. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the snap count, stuff like that. When the ball snapped, I used to go do my job, so I don't really pay attention to what they're doing on offense. I just know my job when the ball was snapped was to go get the ball or do what I was supposed to do.
Was there any one quarterback that you absolutely there is nothing? If nothing else happens today, I'm going to get to this guy and let him know that I'm here. Does that guy exist?
They're also hard to get to. I always knew if you got to Aaron or Brett, you did something good because the ball was usually going pretty damn fast when we played them, and that's what makes the great ones great. They don't take the hits. They get rid of the ball too fast. You don't see them getting sacked 9-10 times in a game, maybe not even a season. The ball is going so fast because they understand what the defense is trying to do to them.
54 in Arizona's reaction when Rodgers runs into the end zone last year. It says, "I still own you."
Hey, beat them. If you don't like it, do something about it. I don't understand. I didn't see the game. I wasn't watching, but obviously I saw all the stuff. People were sending me the clip, and if you don't like it, do something about it, man. I mean, he does. He wasn't lying. He's done pretty damn good against the Bears when he plays against them. That's for sure. Even when I was there, he was good. We had a hard time beating him. But if you don't like it, stop it.
Yeah,
I love that answer because it sucked, but he's not wrong. That's the problem.
It does suck.
They got to change it.
Yeah, you got to find a way to beat him. And as long as he's there, they're going to be. It's going to be hard for anyone to beat them. I don't care what anyone says. You can put any receivers out there. He's going to make them all better.
Ryan, I don't know if 10 years ago I would imagine you'd be doing a podcast with Jay Cutler.
And I never had a problem with Cuddy. There was a lot of media crap going on. They said we were feuding. I never really talked to Jay when we played, so it wasn't a feud. I just, then after you retire, you see all the videos and stuff, the way he acted and the expressions on the sideline. But we believe in a lot of the same things these days, so we're on the same side with a bunch of our opinions, which is good.
I just want to remind people that I was on the contrarian side at the time. Kyle Orton was winning football games around here. I hated to see him go. I like that style of football.
I agree with you on that. I did not like seeing Kyle go because I was a big – Kyle took care of the football. And for some reason when he was our QB, we tried to run the football more, which as a defensive guy I really enjoyed because we got to rest on the sideline when we ran the ball for 3 downs and third down we get a first down. It was nice to rest.
Hey, before we let you out of here, Carm, do you have another Bears question?
Well, I just I want Brian's opinion just as a whole. Listen, you went to the Super Bowl. You guys had some phenomenal years. They won in '85. We can go back to '63 and that squad. But for the most part, this franchise cannot figure it out as far as having a consistent winner. From your perspective, Brian, what is it about the Bears that they have yet to figure out? outside of maybe just lucking into a quarterback that's healthy and can stay there, like there's something that is missing with this organization. I'm wondering from your perspective.
So for me, it's been the quarterback position. There really hasn't been a guy. Jay was great, obviously, for the 8-9 years he was there. But you look around that, you look at Green Bay, they had Brett Favre, then they had Aaron Rodgers. That's 30 years. They had 2 quarterbacks. We had 21, 22 in the 13 years I was there, different starting quarterbacks. You got to get a guy that's consistent. You got to build around that. Find a guy that you can build around. I thought it was Mitch. The Bears disagreed. They got rid of him. Now he's starting for Pittsburgh. So, whether it's personnel decisions or people making those decisions, maybe not doing the best job, I don't know. It's just hard to build a team when you don't have a foundation at quarterback. And maybe Justin Fields is the guy. I hope for their sake it is, but it's just hard to know what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The quarterback position is where you have to have the foundation. We built it around defense, I think, when Lovie was there. We could do that because we had 10 guys, 11 guys on defense that could play.
Can you explain that too? Because for the media standpoint, I mean, Lovie was just the worst. He was the most boring dude of all time. I mean, you did not want to go to a press conference. You were going. It was Nap City, but you guys loved him to the end of the year. What is the love part with Lovie?
Because he treated us like men. He didn't lie to us, and when he came out talking to you guys, he didn't sell us out. He took the blame. Yeah. It was a lot. I'll say this about Mitch Trubisky. When he was a quarterback and the Bears played good or he played great, who do you give the credit to? Offensive line, coaches, receivers, running backs, defense. When the Bears got beat, he didn't. And even if he played great, who took the blame? Mitch. I got to play better. I got to. And as a player, as a guy, I can get on board with someone like that. And that's how Lovie was. I think that's how he earned our respect right away. And it was Lovie, man. He said something, you're like, yes, sir. No problem. I'm going to do it. Yeah, no problem. He just had that. He earned your respect just by the way he spoke to you, the way he carried himself, and the way he coached us.
Yeah, and I think that there's some early signs of that with Matt Eberflus. I'm just wondering, how. Let me ask you this, because I remember hearing stories about this. When Lovie came in, you guys practiced. It was the same thing as what we're seeing now with this new coaching staff. It was hard. Did he back off on that at all after the first year once the culture was established?
No. Practice was practice. It was competitive. And as a player, it's more fun when you go to training camp and you're competing versus your offense because it gets old, man. You're banging against the same guys every day. It gets old. But if you're going ones versus ones, you're competing, that's fun. And you're going to get in fights. You're going to not like your teammates sometimes, but you want it competitive. You want the guys involved and engaged in practice.
All right. Well, hey, the high school football guy in me has to give you love to Kennedy Urlacher out there. I saw some highlights. How's the season going so far?
We have one game. They played last
You can
Friday.
say we.
It's funny. My daughter goes to Hamilton, and my son goes to Chandler High, the number 1 and 2 in the state. So in my house, there's a lot of.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we played it out in San Diego last Friday. They won 63-7. So he hasn't played. He set out last year because he transferred schools to the big boy school, Chandler. I was concerned about his physicality. I'm not concerned anymore. That dude will run through people. He's fast. He's going to keep learning the more he plays. But the thing I love about him is he loves football. I don't have to tell him to work out. I don't have to ask him if he did this and that. He just does it football-wise and school-wise, which I appreciate. He's into it, and he doesn't want – I'll say this. For the last couple of years, because there was a time there I didn't know anything about football. According to him, I was the dumbest person alive. I didn't – his coaches knew everything. I was an idiot. And now the last couple of years, we're talking. We're strategy, cover 2 this, cover 4 that. It's leverage here. It's a lot more fun than where he's gotten.
I watched the Cuddy Pod. You said it in there, like you were coaching him, but then you had to step back. Like I got to get out of here.
I was a dick, man. If you're going to be a good coach and your kid's playing on the team, who are you going to be hardest on? Your kid. If you're any kind of coach worth your salt, and I was definitely hardest on my kid, and I was like, look, I can't do this anymore. And he was like 5th grade. I'm such a jerk, man. So I was like, look, I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to watch you. If you have questions, I'll be here for you. But I'm just going to root you on and cheer for you. I don't want to put a strain on our relationship anymore.
Are you top row of the bleachers? Or are you? You got to strategize that stuff.
Yeah, I'm as far away from everyone as I can be, and I just try and watch the game and not talk to anybody and be quiet and root for the boys. I just want to be not talked to. So I try to get as far away as I can.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, these highlights I've seen, he lined up back there in the back end. There's a safety coming downhill. I've seen those highlights before. from somebody who
Yeah.
used to play that position before he got to the NFL.
He showed up pretty quick on those running plays. As a safety, you got to read that run and not be scared to go downhill. And that's what I was worried about with him. But I'm not anymore. That dude showed up quick, fast, in a hurry, and he was not putting his head down, but running through people.
But Dad is jealous though about the level of recruiting that son is getting here, huh? You didn't get that.
It's so different now. I had my good one offer from the University of New Mexico, and I was proud of that. He's already got 4 or 5 offers, and I'm assuming that list might grow if he keeps getting better.
Hey, good lesson there, though, right? That, like, all these offers can come in. It doesn't mean that somebody with 0 offers or 1 offer can't make it, too.
But it doesn't mean those offers are going to hold up either.
Yeah.
If you don't play well, it doesn't mean you're going to get the emails. They're going to stay committed to you. You need to go out there and play well and earn that offer.
Brian, great talking to you as always. I'm sure people have found you on Twitter at @BUrlacher54. We'll be seeing you on a billboard soon, I'm sure.
Very soon. Thanks, guys.
And make sure people check out restorehair.com as well. Thanks so much, Brian.
See y'all. Thank you.